Welcome back, everybody. It is the Omniverse Comics Guy podcast. Everybody that's tuning in live on Twitch and those that watch us on YouTube, thanks for hanging with us. We appreciate the company. Hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're listening on a podcast platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or I don't know which ones, Player FM, there's a bunch of them. You got an app on your phone that plays a podcast. Hit the like and subscribe button there too. Leave us a review. It helps us make better stuff. And of course, omniversecomics.guide is where you get all of your comic book goodness, brought to you by our pal, Dave Molyneux.
Oh,
how are you, my friend?
It's not just me. Hello. How are you? You good?
I'm good. You guys could see our names. We don't got to introduce ourselves all the time.
Nah.
Easy enough. Yeah. This week, we're doing our incoming comics for September. It's already September.
Nearly.
That's crazy. Nearly,
God,
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts? I feel like we just started the podcast. Like Omniverse pretty much launched in end of December, beginning of January, right? And we're already 8 months in.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. It's been a fun ride so far.
It's been a fun ride. It's been plenty going on.
Yeah.
And more to come.
Yeah, that site's looking beautiful. More and more beautiful every week. Incomings are our monthly. This is a very specific monthly episode. So for those that want to have some recommendations for books to look out for every month, whether it's collections, new trades, omnibuses, we try to mix it up from all the different publishers that when you go to a comic shop, there's a bunch of things that might tickle your fancy. So Dave, last week it was all me talking way too much. You got to take it away this week. You're the first.
I think that's probably fair. Okay, I'm gonna start with one that I have read. I was gonna grab the book. Oh, ball bags. I won't. So my first choice for tonight is from Dark Horse Comics. It's Baltimore, which is written by Mignola, co-written by Christopher Golden, and tons of art by Ben Stenbeck, who I'm a big fan of. It's from the minds of the people who bring you Hellboy, but it's not set in the Hellboy universe, for want of a better name. Apparently Mike Mignola doesn't like it when people call it the Hellboy universe, but it's a universe. I think he doesn't even like that. Like he's not like upset about it, but they have released one omnibus called Hellboy Universe, The Secret Histories, which is what I named the reading order after recently.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty fair.
It's just easier, isn't it, than going, the Hellboy things that all go to... No. So this is from the Outerverse, and we have done a reading order for the Outerverse books, but you don't need to read them all. Like, if you do read them all, it does kind of fill out the world, but they're very, very separate. And for me, Baltimore stands way above any of the other books. So it's... Originally, they were like a series of miniseries, very much like Hellboy. It's about a guy who's a British soldier in World War One. On the battlefield, there's so much blood on the battlefield that it seeps into the ground below France, and wakes long comatose vampires, and up they come, and all the other supernatural things begin to rise. But this one vampire that comes back, there's a feud between him and this one vampire, and he ends up having to chase it across the country and across the world. And bearing in mind it's like 1920 something, so things are a bit different there. It's very, 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 very Mignola, but it's got that Ben Stenbeck art, and I love his art, man. It's still got the vibe.
No, I almost put this on my list because it's a volume 1.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you've read Hellboy and you like it, you'll probably like the feel of this universe. But if you've never read Hellboy, you can also start here and enjoy it for what it is in and of itself.
That exactly. There's 2 Omni volumes as well. So by an omnibus, it's not the same size as a Marvel omnibus. This is it was released as a regular sized hardcover. I was going to have it to hand. It was the same size as this as a hardcover, which is just a standard size hardcover, about as thick, and it's 2 volumes, so you get the whole story in 2 volumes. I'd say it's a lot darker than Hellboy.
I've never...
It's not as much fun, but I still really like it. It's not as tongue-in-cheek and big punchy fist to the face kind of.
Okay.
It's a dude with one leg who is very, very grim and serious, but it's still very Mignola esque
Right.
in terms of that gothic horror.
Right. I haven't dipped my toe yet into the Mignola Hellboy universe. I just, yeah, I watched the movies finally. It took me a long time to watch the movies, and I enjoyed them enough for what it was. But I know for people who are diehard or even just fans of the Hellboy series, nothing compares to the books. Like, they have such a reverence for it. So I do want to, excuse me, it is something that I want to try. I have to give it a go and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I definitely would. Some people really swear by it, and some people prefer it to Hellboy. It's not as involved. So where I think some people are a bit confused by Hellboy at the minute in terms of where do I start? For one thing, someone's working on a reading order. Part 1 is available on the omniversecomics.guide website. The entire Outerverse reading order, as I say, is on the site, but this is super accessible. And where it was released as a series of mini-series and single issues, it was collected in like 6 trades, I think. Now it's just down to 2 omnibus as well, so you can just get the whole lot in 2 books. Boom, done.
Nice, beautiful. I like it. Shout out to Dark Horse. Always got something for Dave.
That they have.
My first pick is actually going to be a Dark Horse book as well.
Ooh.
This one is it would be a completely blind buy. I don't know anything about the writer or the creator. I completely judged it by its cover as I was scrolling through the list. This one is Blood Force Trauma.
Oh,
Jake Smith, Hiram Corbett. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Did that come through on my microphone, that little sound?
What sound?
It's my beautiful puppy taking a nap beside me and passing some gas. So I don't want anyone to think that it's me. I have a mute button if I had to do something like that. But that is out of my control, and I apologize. It was loud.
Totally wasn't that. And even if it was, I'd cut it out.
I just keep hearing them. I'm like, what? I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm like, oh man, she's killing me. Okay. Blood Force Trauma.
Yeah.
Jake Smith, Hiram Corbett. I'm guessing that's how you say it. I apologize for mispronunciation. Dark Horse, coming out September 19th. 120 pages. It looks like a dystopian, colorful future type of story. I'm a sucker for that just based off of the genre alone. I'm going to read the description. It's short. It's America's pastime of the future. Brutal hand-to-hand combat. 2 fighters enter, 1 walks out. The other gets scraped off the arena floor. It's full of laser skull guys, kung fu masters, and mutant shark dudes from another dimension. It's somewhere a normal kid like Zap Daniels just doesn't belong. Too bad he's the new world champ. It's the comic you're holding right now. And if you want to find out more, I guess you're going to have to give it a read. If you dare. Yeah, I'll dare. I'll try. Don't dare me. I'll do it. It just sounds fun.
Yeah, it looks fun. I swear it was a Kickstarter originally. I saw the Kickstarter and went like, I want that. I really want that thing. And then it's out through Dark Horse. So like, I don't know. I'm trying not to buy too many trades at the minute because I have too many trades already. But I want this book.
Yeah, it looks fun. And I have a little bit of a leeway when it comes to a trade like this. If it's just, that's what it is. That's how you read the story.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. Now, if you're going to have volume 7 of it and you're going to release a nice deluxe edition, then yeah, I want to wait up. But I like these one and dones.
Yeah,
these quick little in and out sort of stories that kind of like Kali, right? You just get this nice, beautiful book. It might be 80 pages. It might be 140. But it was the experience of like that book, that collection altogether. It's not a matter of a page count. It's just the entire project. Mm-hmm. I've got Twitch this week on my phone, so I can actually read the comments when I see your face reacting. I'm gonna see what's going on.
You saw me go, what is that? I haven't got my glasses in, and my lenses seem like really squiffy.
Hey everybody, that's the comment. See you now. How you doing? I feel a part of the show.
There you go.
There I am.
You're on the team now, dude.
Yay! Yes. So, Blood Force Trauma from Jake Smith, Hiram Corbett, Dark Horse Comics. You wanna, check that out.
It looks like a lot of fun, man. That was one that, it's a fun looking book, man. That's a really good choice.
Thanks, dude.
No worries.
Shout out to Dark Horse.
Hi, Dark Horse. We love you. So, you want my number 2?
I want your number 2.
You filth bag. Okay, so my number 2 is one I have been reading in digital to the point where I read. So sometimes I'll just buy a one issue and just see if I like the issue, and if I can, I'll just decide on that. If like I did it with Plush recently. So we mentioned Plush in a couple of incoming episodes ago, or last month, I think, was it? Must have been last month.
I think so. Yeah, I think you mentioned it.
I got the book, finished the book, loved it.
That's great.
It is
That's great.
nasty, and I love a bit of nasty. It is like so wrong. So more of that, please. But this one I was reading. So it's Local Man, Volume 1. It's by Tim Seeley, who did Revival. He's done a lot of other things. He does Hack Slash, stuff like that. Anyway, and Tony Fleeks, who did Stray Dogs, I think. Yeah, it's about a superhero guy who's essentially their Hawkeye from the Image universe. Not that there is an Image universe anymore. They flash back to when they were in their Image kind of outfits in the 90s and stuff. And this is all about him disgracing himself and having to go back home. And then he's not allowed to use his superhero name, Crossjack. And then he finds out something's going on. And he's got the local cops trying to shut him down. The team that he used to be on trying to shut him down. And he's just having the worst time. Like his parents want to disown him because they're embarrassed by him being kicked out of this super team. So yeah, I haven't actually got. I just end up then downloading the next one and downloading the next one. Like, I like this. Like, you're going to buy the book, you idiot. So stop doing that. So yeah, I've read a few issues and I'm hooked on it. It's got a real. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of books like Superior Spider-Man. We interrupt Dave to bring you this correction. He's talking about Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Idiot. With those kind of hard luck bad guys kind of thing. He's not a bad guy, but he's not necessarily a good guy either in many ways. And a little bit of Hawkeye. So it's that, someone that should be respected, but actually like people throw stuff at him and disrespect him.
Got you. Yeah.
It's just, and he's on the front cover in a balaclava and a coat, and it's funny. It's a funny book, and I do recommend it. Well, that's why it's on the list, mate. But yeah, Local Man. It's 128 pages, and it's volume 1. Although I haven't actually got the book in my hands yet, so I don't know if it, and I haven't finished the digital version, so I don't know if it continues or if it's done in one as a trade. But I don't care. If there's more of this, I'll be in for that, man. This is funny stuff.
Yeah, nice. Okay. My number 2. This is a book you already own. It hasn't been released yet. I'd go to comic shops and ask about it, but strictly off of the creative team, Cosmic Detective. It's Matt Kindt and Jeff Lemire working together. It was a Kickstarter, if I'm not mistaken, and now it's being published by Image Comics. Yes, 208 pages. Have you read it yet?
Yeah, I've read it.
And would you recommend it?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I need to read it again. It's very strange.
Okay.
It's very, very, very Kirby influenced, but also like super trippy.
Since you actually read it, what would be like the elevator pitch that you would give somebody what it's about? Like, just
basically, I think it's about a guy who's part of an organization who's trying to investigate the murder of a god.
Okay.
Or essentially a new god.
Okay.
And
that's good. It
gets weirder from there.
Mm.
So it's David Rubin's on the art as well. So if you're familiar with David Rubin, yay, his stuff is cool. But if you're not, he's worked with Matt Kindt before. And I've moved all my books, so I can't show you. But he did... Oh, God, what was it called? Ether with Dark Horse. He's also done Hero, his own book. And he did Rumble, like the second half of Rumble. So his stuff is very, like, there's a lot in his artwork. It's kind of... I really, really like it.
So would you say that it throws you off because of what you come to expect from the creative team?
A little.
If this was Grant Morrison on it, would you be like, this is what I would be up his alley?
It's not that weird. There's still a story there. I love Grant Morrison. I love Grant Morrison's stuff, but sometimes you literally read it just going, what and why, Grant? Like,
not all of us have gone to Kathmandu, Grant.
No.
And had
Not
lunch
all of
with
us
the Beatles.
took the brown acid. Grant, we had actual breakfast. It's just sometimes it can be a bit much.
Cosmic Detective, just off of the creative team alone, and your description, it would be something I would give it a shot.
It's worth a try. It's definitely worth a go. It's very different. It's a very different experience, and it's one of those things. It's like the other week when I mentioned Donnie Darko. It's hard to recommend. You're either going to love the strangeness of it, or you're going to go, "Why? I want a story." I don't know what the voice was. I'm sorry.
You got a nice copy of it though, right? You got a hardcover version.
I got the Kickstarter one, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
It's a shame they didn't release it in that format because it's like a square old school graphic novel format. It's right there. It's right at the bottom of the pile.
Just do it. Get it. Get it at the bottom.
It's going to take me so long. It's going to take me so long to get
you.
it. And then I'm going to have to tidy that up later, and I can't be bothered.
No problem. No.
It's
no tidiness.
I'll run the artwork up. There it goes. Look at it go up the screen again. Like, woo, tickle its balls. Yeah, I love David Rubin's art, but it's one of those things where with this book, it's so strange. It's an acquired taste. You can't say for sure if people are going to love it or going to freak out.
Okay. Yeah, I got to give it a shot. Two
Always
creators who every time I've tried some of their stuff, I've liked it a lot more often than not. So
yeah,
why not? Dave,
that's a good call.
Your number 3?
My numero 3 is...
Do it.
I'm going to go with... I feel like I haven't done this in a while. I'm going with a Marvel book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got?
Imagine what it's going to be. I bet you'd guess, but you wouldn't guess it right.
Incredible Hulk.
No!
I was gonna... You know what I was originally going to guess? This is a cheat.
Go on.
I was originally going to guess Guardians of the Galaxy Epic Collection.
Oh, no.
From you. Okay, go.
No. It's Daredevil, Guardian Devil, Gallery Edition.
I almost selected that, and
Did
I felt
you?
like we had mentioned it recently, but I'm like, that's a pretty cool book. But it's a cool book. Like it is one to have your eye out for if you've never read it before, and if go ahead.
No. Go for it. 'Cause I've just
If you've never read it before, or if you have it and you want it in a upgraded version, this is something as a collector to keep your eye out for. It's a great pick.
It's a mystery. It might have been in the mystery episodes. No, it wasn't. Was it? I don't know. But you know what? We're mentioning it now.
That's right.
It was going to be to a power bomb, but instead, what I've chosen is Guardian Devil. So
That's
Guardian.
my joke.
So in Guardian Devil, Daredevil been running for quite a long time. Got up to actually 280, and they ended with a big explosive one-shot story. And then they relaunched Daredevil 1998 with art by Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti, and it was written by Kevin Smith, then big-time film director, rising star Kevin Smith, who I haven't actually seen any new films from it. Oh no, he's been making them, but I just haven't been watching them. Sorry, Kevin, not interested in Clark's 9. But it was great. He knows his Daredevil. He really knows his Daredevil. He knows the right beats to have in a Daredevil story like that. This is one of those really impactful stories. It also relates back to 2 pretty major stories. You don't have to read them to appreciate it, but if you want to read Born Again, and after that read Kraven's Last Hunt, the Spider-Man story, and then read this, and then that'll be a fuller experience. But they're releasing this now so it was 8 parts. It was issues 1 to 8 of the relaunched Marvel Knights Daredevil series. Looks fantastic, and it's the kind of twist issue is kind of harsh. There's a lot of harsh moments actually in this storyline.
Yeah, no, I remember reading this as one of my kind of primers to entering the world of Daredevil, because I hadn't really read too much Marvel up until, like 2012. I was starting to dip my toe into the entire Marvel universe, and I went deep dive into Daredevil because it's just one of those things that there are key moments throughout each decade so far. Like you got the Kevin Smith into the Bendis, into even the Mark Waid, and then of course Frank Miller, and there's all these different places you can go, and it'll be good reading. So Guardian Devil, because I was a fan of Kevin Smith and his podcast, I'm like, let me read this comic that kind of made him famous / infamous in the comicdom world, because there's that so much dialogue, which is very much a Kevin Smith thing, but then it's just so much fan service, which is also very Kevin Smith thing, but it's done like you said, like he knows, he understands the character, and he was just trying to let everything out in that book. So it is good. It's really it's a memorable one.
It's memorable. It's pivotal. Yeah, it actually affects things later on into the Bendis run as well. So. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, it's a key book. Good pick. I like it.
Thank you.
We're on
our halfway mark, dude.
Halfway mark. All right.
Let's do the advert music. Go for it. Do the beats.
Boom, 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 boom. If I don't stop, I would have kept going. That's the problem. So
nothing wrong with that. We should have gone for like 7 minutes.
You imagine see how many people stayed around?
Followers, none.
So do we have any news from the UK end?
No. So Misha, who works on the website, is still away. So there is stuff being worked on, but it's not at launch point yet. We'll probably launch this episode next. That'll be the first thing to go on in a couple of days, because incoming needs to be done in a good time. It's good people to save up them's pennies just so they can get all the shit that we're recommending. But there are some big reading orders coming up. Yeah, some hotly requested ones. One is a very, very, very major character, and every time anything I've looked up about this character in the actual correct reading order, there's just massive arguments about it. So I'm expecting flack. I don't care. If people are reading it and they're going, but what about this? What about that? Please, please, please say. Because if it should be there, I want to make it accurate.
Yeah.
So
we're down for criticism, guys.
Yes. It's necessary.
Yes, it helps us make better stuff.
It does indeed. How about you? Have you got any news?
We got some news on this end. Hopefully this comes out in time for people. And as you said, it'll be up next week. So that's good. For those that are in the Greater Toronto area or visiting the city of Toronto for Fan Expo Canada, which takes place August 24th to the 27th, yours truly will be there. And thank you. Big shout out to Kevin Boyd, who was on one of our collector item specials recently. He hooked up your boy with a couple of panels to host this weekend, which I had no idea what the schedule was going to be. Usually it's kind of like, hey, who's available, what days? In this case, they just put me on every day for some pretty cool ones. So on the Thursday, we've got the most recent like DC artist superstars designing DC. I think the panel is called. I should have looked this up to say the time and place. It's 6:15 on Thursday. You're gonna have to look through your schedule for all these different events that are taking place. There's only way to go to these, find the room, because things change. So that's going to be Thursday. On Friday, we have a Ken Lashley spotlight, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he's a lot of fun, tells a lot of stories. That'll be kind of like a speakeasy, I guess you could say, conversation. So look out for that. That'll be Friday afternoon. And then Saturday afternoon, memory serves, the time would be around 2:30. It's with Jason Fabok and Brad Anderson, and the theme or the subject is going to be Batman 3 Jokers.
Holy crap.
That's a pretty good one, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. So if you're in the area, I'll be there. I'll be hosting the panel. You can send some questions our way to ask, and I will do my absolute best to get that recorded for us for the podcast.
Brilliant.
And it fits so well because we just did a Jeff Johns spotlight, and it was one that escaped me. I probably wouldn't have recommended it, but it'll fit nicely into the Jeff Johns search of books
Oh God,
to
it will.
consider,
Yeah.
right? So
Oh
there you
man.
go. I got to read
Wow.
it again.
Nice
It's been
going,
a
dude.
minute.
Yeah, I need
Not
to read
me.
it again.
Shout out to Kevin. I had no idea what I was going to be which panels I'd be booked on, but hey, that's pretty cool. So
He's
if
gonna
you're
give it
at
to
the
you because
show,
you know your stuff. So it's you got to take your credit, man.
oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, those who listen to the Omniverse Comics Guide and have been listening to us for a while and you're in the area, I know our people listening over Twitch is international, but if you happen to be there, come check us out. Support the
Nice.
panels. Yeah,
Nice.
that's what I can announce. It's supposed to happen, so be on the lookout, and I hope to see you there. And if you listen to this episode
Nice.
and you're like, hey, listen to that one, shout out to you. Thank you for being there. All right, number 3.
Let's do number 3. It's your number 3, man.
I'm gonna go with another thing that I haven't read yet, but it's, near and dear to me. Just the characters packaged in this little set. It's the Superman 78 and Batman 89 box set. I
Ooh.
love Robert Venditti as a comic book writer. I obviously have talked ad nauseum about Exo Man of War, and I also like his Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps, that from the Rebirth era. I thought that was a lot of fun. His Hawkman that he did with Brian Hitch, excuse me, please. But he did the Superman half of this collection. I don't know who did the Batman half, pardon me. I should know that, but I'm definitely in for the Robert Venditti Superman thing. And it's got that packaging of like an old video cassette sort of box.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I knew that this would when I saw that this was coming out simultaneously, like, 1 week was the Batman book, the next week was going to be the Superman movie, and it's all connected to the movie universes of these properties, right? So you're kind of getting the next part of the story. Yeah.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So it's set in the continuity, but it's new stuff.
Yes, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Sam Hamm was one of the script writers on the Batman 89 movie.
Really? Oh, that sounds...
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, that
Because
does sound
I know
familiar.
I've seen that name before associated with Batman in some way, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it takes place in the movie universes that are fond to a lot of people, right? It's a lot of people's childhood. It's a lot of people's nostalgia. So now that it's packaged together, why not give it a go and get the nice little box set?
Stop adding things to the list that I haven't ordered.
No, I know. Sorry.
Did he do Dial H for Hero as well, Joe Quinones, who does the art?
Yeah.
Yes, he did Dial H for Hero.
There you go. See, you knew. This looks like a lot of fun, and I think it's probably pretty accessible to people who have never really collected comics, but they love those movies. Like, this is a good way to kind of dip your toe and just have the warm, fuzzy feeling of reading a comic book. Yeah. That's my number 3.
Familiarity. Nice choice. Okay, so a little while ago we did a collector's item special with Daniel Friedman. I'm a huge fan of Daniel Friedman. He did Carly. I never shut the front door about it, but he recommended James Stokoe as a creator. I've never read any of James Stokoe's stuff, and I feel like I should have by now. What has he written? It's not ringing a bell. He's done Wonton Soup. He did an Alien story. He tends to just kind of do what he wants to do. I think Orphan and the Five Beasts, I think, as well he did. So it's like, it's very much like, this is my project. This is what I want to do. And now I'll go away for a while and I'll come back when I feel like doing something else. Yeah, so he also did Godzilla. So IDW releasing a Godzilla library collection, but that's probably not in the Dark Horse way. I think that means it's one of their small books. But they're going to start collecting a lot of the Godzilla stuff again from the beginning. And I was kind of tempted by that, and that was nearly what was on my list. And I thought, well, really, I only want to read the James Stokoe stuff. So they're also releasing the Godzilla by James Stokoe Deluxe Edition, so I'm going to get that instead. And that's my choice for number 4. But I don't know anything about it, you know?
You just look so disappointed. That's my choice for number 4.
Well, I'm just so torn, man. But like, I think the deluxe is going to obviously be bigger and everything, and I feel like it needs to be bigger. And
well, I mean,
Godzilla.
I think a lot of our choices so far aren't things that we have an overly emotional attachment to, except for something like Guardian Devil, which we've both read more than once and can vouch for it. But sometimes you also kind of develop an eye of like, that seems like it could be something. You've
Yes.
read enough comics to kind of get a feel for where they might be going with something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that sounds snobby, but it's just having read so many, right? It just kind of
Yeah.
comes with it.
You get a nose
So
for it. I mean, you don't
yeah,
always choose right, but like I think with this, like his stuff seems really interesting and funny and well thought out. And if I'm going to read a Godzilla thing, I kind of want someone who's going to experiment, because like I'm not like a massive Godzilla fan. I don't even know why I'm drawn to this thing. I think I just want to. I just want to. A part of it's probably from reading Kaiju Max, and I'm still trying to hold everything in until that comes out. In the meantime, I need a
yeah, you
kaiju
want your
fix.
fix.
So
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense.
this
Complete
looks like
sense.
it's going to be fun. So that's why I want it, really, I think.
And there's something to be said when a creator who you kind of trust their taste based on what kind of stuff they make, and knowing how to work with their collaborators, you kind of trust their taste on stuff they like. Why would
Yeah.
you like that?
Yeah, I think
Right?
that's
So
very
I
true,
want to.
actually.
So there's something to that as well, I think.
Yeah. That's good thinking.
So shout out to Daniel Friedman. Anyways,
But go back
good
and check
pick.
that episode out if you haven't listened to it already. All right.
Absolutely.
I have re-edited it since the incident.
Okay. One thing that you will always find coming out when comics are listed is a lot of Batman books. You'll never be short of a Batman book. But in this case, I'm going to be in the Bat family, but it's going to be Batgirl Year One. It's just more the quality of story and how charming and fun it is. And again, it's one of those books that if you've never read Batgirl before, you're fine trying this for the very first time and just giving it a go, because you'll know enough about Batman. There's a Robin, there's an Alfred, there's a Batgirl, Commissioner Gordon. You know enough to read this book for the first time and feel like you know everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And Chuck Dixon, if I'm not mistaken, him and Scott Beatty are the writers, and he's got a long relationship with the Batman and Batman family. He knows his way around the Gotham, if you will. So yeah, this one has a lot of charm to it. I have a soft spot. Can't wait to read it again. It's one of those books that after you've gone through that Batgirl Year One and the Robin Year One are really great companion books.
Yeah,
And when
they
you
are.
read them, yeah, they're so much fun. So highest recommendation.
Really
Give that a
excellent
go.
choice, man. That was Marcos Martins on the art as well. It's funny because like I had 2 copies of that book for ages because I couldn't part with one. I got the deluxe to replace the paperback, but I loved this series so much. So it's like it won me over to Batgirl completely, and she's so
Really
different to Batman. She's so
Yeah.
different to any of those characters, so it's a completely different feel. Dude, I could talk about. This was my number 5, because I could
Oh, really?
literally bang on about this for ages, but I haven't read it in a number of years. At the
What
same
are the
time.
chances out of all there's a couple of other good ones coming out in
Well,
classic collections coming
Yeah.
out in.
there are tons.
There's a ton, but this was one that I don't feel gets mentioned enough sometimes amongst the Batman must read this. I mean, it's there, but you've got all these other well-known titles that are just go-tos for a lot of people.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I thought this deserved the love
definitely.
this time around.
It's really
I'm
good.
happy. I'm happy that it was that you confirm. I'm sorry I took it from your list, but it's good to know that we're got
Oh,
2
God,
thumbs
yeah.
up for this one, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. If you haven't read it, read it. Okay, so that means my number 5 is Batman. Now, so obviously I was going to have something else on the list. I don't know what it was going to be. I'm not even going to explain. But so there's so much Batman coming out this month. I've actually had to cancel some of the pre-orders. So I was kind of picking what I was going to keep because I was thinking I can't get it all. In terms of oversized hardcover stuff with Batman in it or as a central character, there's a lot. I will mention them afterwards, but I think they've kind of overdone it. So my choice for number 5 is one that, funnily enough, for continuity's sake, I mentioned that they should do in a previous episode when we were talking about Most Wanted DC Omnis. And it's the Batman Adventures Omnibus.
Yes, good pick.
So Batman
Yeah.
Adventures is very much the accessible, aimed at the younger reader, but not patronizing. So the stories, they're nice and straightforward. A lot of them by Paul Dini. I think John Byrne writes one of the stories as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really random. I don't think he draws it, but he does write it. And it's set in the continuity of the animated series. I don't know if the stories purposely slot between any episodes. No, I'm not doing a reading order for that. That's a step too far. Just the comics, man. But maybe someone has done one out there. I don't know. Do people want that? Yes, they do, incidentally, because someone asked me to do it once, and I just said, I'm not doing it. Sorry. I'd have to watch all those episodes again to know for sure.
That'd be hard. Because I don't know how, and I have no idea what I'm saying right now, but I'm not sure how faithful those comics would have been to be like, this happens in between this and this. Maybe,
yeah. I don't know. I literally don't know. Someone's probably got the answer. Someone out there will have the answer. So if they've already got the answer, I don't need to do it.
Yeah, because I feel like in a lot of ways what made those episodes classic and I guess some of those comic book stories were more like they had that serialized feel.
Yeah.
So that even when you watched them on random, unless it was a two-parter, it was never necessary that you watch all of season 1 or else you won't get anything that happened.
No, it's just not the way animation was done. I don't know how the stories in Batman Adventures comic hold up. I think the first story arc, so I've only read the first story arc. I've been reading it to my daughter because she's 8, and I was reading it to her when I think I started when she was 7, so it's like over that age group, and it was perfectly fine. But yeah, I think they'll probably do, because there was like Batman and Robin Adventures as well. So this is numbered volume 1, so they may well be doing. They're probably collecting all of this, which was the Batman Adventures series, and then the Batman and Robin Adventures series as volume 2. That's my assumption, because that's the stuff, and it's Paul Dini involved in it as well. So
Ty Templeton on a lot of the artwork.
What was the other one? There was someone, and you mentioned them last time, and it was the artist. Oh, I'm a tiger. I can't remember what it was. Who it was?
It's gonna drive us crazy.
Everything's moved in here, and I can't find anything anymore.
Oh man, that's what happens when you live in a library like that. I like that. It's a good pick. Another good shout out to Batman. I mean, it's number 3 on this list in a way, but you can't avoid it. It's what DC publishes.
Yeah.
So check out Batman. Number 5, I'm going to pick something that I haven't read, but I kind of trust the creator, and that's Mark Millar, Nightclub.
I wasn't sure when it was coming out.
It's set in September, Image Comic, September 5th. So pretty soon, one of the early things that's going to be released. I'll read the description real quick because, again, this is a blind buy, strictly based off of the creator and just the fun. It's sometimes you just need a book that you can binge through like a quick TV show that's full of action and kind of silly, but kind of scratches that itch you're looking for as just a comic guy. So you're 17 years old and you've been bitten by a vampire. Do you live in the shadows and drink human blood, or use your newfound gifts for the dream life of a costume superhero like you always wanted? You're bulletproof. You can crawl up walls, turn to mist, bats, or even a wolf. Why not have a little fun? Collecting the first 6 issues of the smash hit Netflix series.
Series?
I didn't know it was a Netflix series.
No.
Mark Millar, Juanan Ramirez.
Mark Millar and Juanan. I'm not going to do it. I was going to genuinely try.
Ramirez. I just say it like the like Boss Maroni in Dark Knight. Whenever he gives up, do you remember when he gives up the name of the cop that was the traitor? No, her name was Ramirez. I guess it was supposed to be like a Renee Montoya kind of character.
Okay,
no, doesn't ring a bell. No. It's okay.
Which was the Dark Knight? Was that the second one, the Joker one?
Yeah, the Joker one.
I've watched that like 4 times. I can't remember. My memory sucks. Thanks, booze. Thanks, booze and drugs, for ruining my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those movies where I've probably watched it countless times now. The Dark Knight. Whenever it just starts, I just keep watching, keep it in the background, tune in, just watch certain scenes again. Like, it's just one of those movies I'm always checking in on for some reason. But yeah, Nightclub, Mark Millar, Netflix original, should be fun. Yeah, I mean, it's again one of those creators whose miniseries books from Image Comics, his creator-owned stuff, is oftentimes very fan-friendly to new readers.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be bogged down, but just want to have a lot of fun reading a book, try a Mark Millar. You say Millar, I say Millar. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's Mark Millar.
Yeah, I prefer saying that, because saying Millar, I feel like an idiot. But if that happens to be the way you say your name, I apologize. I'm the idiot. But yeah, Mark Millar.
Cool. Some good shiz. Nice. Dude, we've hit our 10.
Nice. Perfect.
Do you want me to do a little overview of some of the other ones that we didn't mention that are worth the shout?
Why not?
Just a few.
Go for it.
I'll try and keep it short. So, from Boom, in September, we've got Complete Insufferable, which is a Mark Waid book. I don't know if it's set in the same universe as Incorruptible and
I think it is.
The other one.
I think you're supposed to read them together.
Right. I wasn't sure if it was. I mean, I'm gonna read in order. But for now, yeah, might as well. I exist. Also from Boom, we've got Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. If you like that kind of thing, I don't. Slaughterhouse 5, I strongly recommend, and it should have been on my list, and I'm an idiot, and I don't know why I didn't include it. It's such a good book. It's an adaptation of the book by I don't know whose name I used to remember, and it's by the creative team. It's by the writer of Squirrel Girl, Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and the artist of Universe. Don't know if that helps. It's a really good. It's like an anti-war story, but very surreal. So from Dark Horse, Hans Vogel is Dead, Volume 1. I know nothing about it, but I like stuff where they announce that the main character is dead. Always have done. Like, John dies at the end. Like, oh, I'm going to watch that. I bet John dies at the end. I love that kind of thing.
We want to know how it happened.
Yeah, things to do in Denver when you're dead. I had to watch that film because I figured everyone was going to die.
Just
in case. So, it's polite, isn't it? Master of the Universe, Masterverse Volume 1, which I'm trying to remember now if that was by Tim Seeley as well. I know he's done some Master of the Universe stuff. If you want a He-Man hit, it's starting from scratch and it's from Dark Horse. I doubt very much you can go wrong. There's also, I wasn't going to mention this one, but I will anyway, because I don't know much about it, but I'm slightly intrigued. There's also a book called White Savior, which is about like a white guy who learns martial arts. It's very much a parody of stuff like Iron Fist by the looks of it. I'm intrigued. So DC have got Batman. It's just all Batman.
Is there any Batman coming out in
There's
September?
a little bit of Batman as well. So, I mean, they've got, I think, was it Deceased as well is coming out? I didn't even write that down. But Under the Red Hood,
that's a good one.
Deluxe Edition is coming out. Deceased Deluxe Edition is coming out with Batman on the cover. Batman and Robin Eternal is coming out. I'm not getting it. It's not as good as Eternal, but I know that some people would be interested in that. You can also get Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo, which is the Mark Silvestri drawn miniseries in one book. Also, Superman Kal-El Returns. Oh, that was not on my tick list. Move on. Superman Kal-El Returns is the epilogue to Warworld, the Warworld saga. So even the Warworld saga isn't out yet in that big chunky book, but the epilogue to that story that isn't out yet is coming out in September.
That makes great sense.
Doesn't it? It's because they've already released Warworld as individual trades.
That's true. Do you think the War World will include this epilogue?
It won't. No. They've listed what's in it and it's not in there. And neither is Superman Authority. So if you haven't got Superman and the Authority, pick it up if you want to get Warworld, because it is part of the story, but they've not included it in that collection. Dynamite are releasing The Adventures of Red Sonja Omnibus. So if you're a Conan fan, shame on you, but also if you're a fan of the Marvel issues of Conan, haven't managed to get Red Sonja because the license is with Dynamite, this is your chance to get a Marvel style omnibus of the Marvel stories. IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin director's cut. So that appeals. Big style. Finally, from some company called Marvel, there's Captain America Lives Omnibus, which is the third Brubaker collection. If you don't have it, because it sporadically comes out, but people are always missing volumes, definitely pick it up. It's excellent. Hulk Maestro by Peter David Omnibus is also coming out. You'd think that would be on my 5. It's not. It's the more recent Maestro stuff. I'm just not that interested in it. I don't think it needs backstory.
Right. Some things are just better left where they
Yeah,
were.
Future Imperfect is ironically near perfect. You just don't need to add the extra stuff. Who knows? It might be good. Wolverine Omnibus Volume 4 is the last on the list that I'm certainly going to mention tonight. I did have that pre-ordered, and I remembered they're the really shit issues, so I cancelled it in advance. Thank you.
Nice.
There's a load of Marvel Comics Presents in there as well, and I was looking at it going, why would I ever want this? I'll never read that book. So, no.
The completionist in you will cave.
Won't. I'm learning fast. The more room I run out of.
That's
like,
really
strict.
the lesson. Yeah. That's what did it for me too, as far as like, be really selective what you want all the numbers of, as far as like, you get what you want and what you're going to read. That's really what matters.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, volume 3 relates to like the Mutant Genesis stuff. So that was where it kind of stopped being really good.
Right.
So I'm happy. I've got the Claremont run of Uncanny and the related Wolverine issues. Perfect. Don't need any more. I don't need the 90s stuff. No, I don't need it.
Yeah, I think that's how far I went with the Wolverine Epics. I think I went up to Volume 3, which isn't as much as is in the omnibuses, but the omnibuses also collect the mini-series of Frank Miller and all these different things that were happening in Wolverine story world, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken. So.
I think you're right. Incidentally, it was Kurt Vonnegut. I think that's how you pronounce it. Omega Bread just mentioned the writer's name of the original novel of Slaughterhouse 5. It's Kurt Vonnegut.
Is that all? Is that anything else?
No. Have you got anything?
Pretty much the things that you listed. Pretty much we've gone through it all. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching on Twitch and hanging out with us and commenting while we did this. And for those that watch after the fact on YouTube, thank you so much for your support. Stick around with us. We're gonna keep on trucking, as they say. Don't forget to subscribe to the show, hit the like button, and do the same on the podcast platform if you're listening to us on your way to work, on your commute home, whatever, on your walk with your dog. Say hello to the puppy. But thank you for hanging out with us. We always appreciate it. Dave, always great to hang out with you and think about books to look out for in the next couple months.
I wish I could return the compliment, you Batgirl thief.
Well, ta-ta for now. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back soon.
See you next time. Word.